Hi, guys. Welcome to the first podcast episode of the Ducky 26. And today, guys, this is the first podcast that I will be doing. And today, for this week, we will be talking about the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and some things related to the PlayStation State of Play. So, just to give you a little bit of background this week, with the anticipation of the release of the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, there's been a mixed review and reception of the game being released 3 days ago. And with it being officially released today, I had the opportunity of playing it early at the beta and as well as playing it for the pre-order for the deluxe edition. And as someone who's played a few hours of the game this far, it's not as bad as everybody's been playing it out to be. It's been delayed for about 2 years now. It's been on a massive, big scale of a game for production, and we've seen countless times with other games being delayed in games that shouldn't be released. For example, as the new Saints Row game that was delayed a few times, and that game was just atrocious. As playing it recently, not even worth it. It's just broken completely. At least with the Suicide Squad, even though it's a little bit of, I would say, a little mix of this online play style, not so much like our typical Rocksteady game, it's still a straightforward game that you can actually play. And this is what I don't understand with a lot of the reviews I've been reading. And people are like, oh, it's not like the old Rocksteady games. You guys got to get over it. It's a new outlook on games. Everything's become this more of this whole dynamic of online-based play as compared to what we used to see years ago with everything just being derived focused on single-player games. And as somebody who's played the Spider-Man 2 game as well, and is a big Insomniac fan, that game is really great, but at the same time, there's not much going on with it otherwise. You can't even play it. You can't even do anything else with it unless if you did 100% everything, everything's done. We're going to replay the same thing over and over. It's not even worth it at that point. And I have to say, I know a lot of people are not a fan of the story for the Suicide Squad game, and I'm not going to spoil anything for it. You probably already seen it online. But the story is pretty unique. They kind of clear up a lot of things that happen after Arkham Knight. But like, there's that whole gap period, which I see where people are coming from. They maybe should have made another game, but I mean, they were trying to do something different instead of playing the typical hero for the game too. And it's not your own typical style of a game that's released, especially from Rocksteady, but it's not bad. It's not perfect either. That's pretty much how every game is. But for the release price of about $110 for the deluxe edition, kind of ridiculous just for a disc and some DLCs and just some like emotes and stuff. But I have to say though, I can't complain. It hasn't been. I've had no problems with it aside from what I've read online about the whole first day of it ending. But it's not that big of a deal. And I feel like the story is good so far. Online aspect of it's kind of dumb. It is what it is at this point. But I feel like Rocksteady is very trying to make their own style of an online-based game. And with the continued support that's going to be coming with it too, I feel it's going to be really good and effective as well. Personally, I like the game so far. There's been some minor glitches, some enemy encounter issues, but I really haven't found anything else wrong with it. The story is very humorous, and I wish they gave it a bit of a more backstory on what happened to the Justice League prior to them getting affected, just kind of from Brainiac, because Brainiac's the main villain in this game. I haven't got that far into it yet, but it would have been cool if they told us, like, oh, there was like these things that happened with the Justice League with like Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, the Flash, but they didn't really go into depth about that. They just, if there's a part in the beginning, I'm not spoiling anything for you, but when you go into like kind of like Batman's like museum, they give you a little bit of rundown, like they call Bruce Wayne out, and Bruce Wayne joined teams with the Justice League to help protect them, but otherwise they don't really go so far into it as of yet. I know people have to understand this is not the same game as the Arkham series. It doesn't really make any sense, the comparison. Rocksteady is trying to upgrade and change their outlook on gaming, and I feel a lot of people are not giving the credit that they deserve. And I really feel there should be a single-player option of this, but it doesn't allow it as of time, and maybe in due time they will add it as well. But currently I'm playing as Deadshot within the game. I know you can play as Harley Quinn, Boomerang, King Shark, and from what I was understanding too, from what I read online, Joker's going to be added, and supposedly additional DLC characters as well. And it's cool about it is that usually with season passes, they just kind of end. With this one, you can actually go back to, which is pretty unique. And we have to understand too, guys, this is not 2010, it's 2024. A lot of these companies are going to keep going with this whole like dynamic of playing games. And as like games that have been released this year, a lot of, like, for example, Baldur's Gate 3, you can play it offline, online. It's another game that had time to kind of get a chance to because it's kind of expensive still, if considering for the price point of $70 online, no disc either, unless you buy it overseas. It's kind of like, in the same point, we're kind of comparing this game to like, oh, well, it's not great, but at the same time, it's okay, But it would have been cool if they had like a collector's edition maybe released with this game, or just some type of maybe like statue or something. Because I went to GameStop today to pick up the regular copy of the game. The regular copy of the game, and it came in a comic book, which is kind of just whatever. Because the comic book's coming out on Tuesday, and it comes with like the DLC. I don't know if anybody's seen that yet, but on the DC website, you get the same comic book with a, I think like a little bobblehead with it, like for one of the online characters that you can just add to like as like a charm to the guns. And I suggest that if you're gonna try this game out, maybe wait out for a little bit. Maybe it'll eventually go to PlayStation Plus as a trial, or maybe an Xbox Game Pass. I'm gonna look into a little bit about maybe how much is sold in the first week, but I think it's been doing fairly well for the sales. It's not like crazy, but the Metacritic score is I think about 67, 68 right now. And I feel that if you get a chance to play it, I feel it's pretty cool. I'm being very non-biased on it because I've always viewed games that people say suck, then I've usually liked them. And I'm not saying like I have a poor taste in game selection, but this game's not as bad as everybody said it is. Excuse me. And also in other news too, before we get into the state of play, I don't know if anybody's noticed too, there was a new release of a new guitar that's going to be coming out for Rockman soon, and for the current gen to be able to play like Rockman 4 and the Fortnite game. So eventually, and for the Fortnite Festival, that's what it's called. And most notably, the Riffmaster has a thumbstick behind a guitar and a ambidextrous design, and a 3.5mm audio jack, and a promised battery life of supposedly 36 hours on a single charge, which is pretty good, and it's wireless too. And depending on me, while it's pretty unique, instead of detaching the guitar with the long neck to the two down piece, it's going to become like a foldable guitar to travel to a store so you can play it on the go. And it'll be compatible with only 2 games, Rockman 4, which released its final DLC this past last week, and Fortnite's Festival, and supposedly Harmonix is releasing an update to allow games to support Rock Band controllers, so maybe possibly for the PS4 and the S Series X. And Fortnite will eventually benefit from the guitar control support for free-play rhythm games, control and keyboard only at the moment. And also, if we've seen too in the if you've seen some of the games, you got Rocksmith, who actually delisted, I believe, the 2014 version of their game and their music for, I believe, the PS4, Xbox Series X, 360, and all the other platforms that was on. And also, they've also been updated and branded their company as something new as well, for more of a focused and derived gaming company, which I've been noticing is pretty cool as well, because they're kind of like, there's like a whole mechanic in Rocksmith. You can play the guitar, but also incorporating piano as well too. And there's been a price point supposedly for the guitar. It's ranging between $100 to $200 possibly, but this is not confirmed information. Things are still trying to like come out. And also now onto the good stuff, the state of play. So they released some good content for the state of play, and after watching some of it after watching the whole thing, they have Hellraisers 2 coming out. Game does not look promising. It kind of looks pretty bad. But they had Silent Hill 2 actual gameplay, and they still did not give a confirmed date for it. But then they released Silent Hill The Message, and it's free to download right now on the PS5 as an exclusive. I played it. You can check it on my channel. It's roughly about 2 hours long. There's no trophies. There's a point in it that it's very hard at some points in that, because you're kind of like running around from like kind of a plant, not like a plant, like a cherry blossom plant. And it's only available in the PS5, at least for 1 year earlier. It's available 1 year earlier than as compared to any other format. So this might be coming to Xbox Series X and Steam as well, though I am not 100% sure about that. This is according to the Sony website, PlayStation blog. So you got a couple games that were shown. Dave the Diver, Death Stranding 2. Death Stranding 2, guys. That it just looks weird. That's all I can tell you right now. I still haven't finished the first one, but the game absolutely makes no sense to me still. And I know it does to a lot of people. I'm not discrediting Hideo Kojima, but the game makes no sense. We have Dragon's Dogma 2 coming out. Foam Stars is coming out too. It's going to be a seasonal game too, kind of like with the Season Pass. Judas looks very interesting if for any of my BioShock fans out there, 1, 2, and 3. This game is like, from the company, it's a new game. But if you watch the gameplay, it looks like BioShock. A lot more updated, a mix of Deathloop, Wolfenstein. That's the vibes I got from it. You got Legendary Tales coming out. You got a couple of VR games coming out for the VR2, Metro Awakening. And then you also have Rise of the Ronin, which looks like Ghost of Tsushima on steroids with Sicario. It looks bananas, as you guys can tell from like the gameplay. Silent Hill: The Short Message, which you guys have probably already seen some of the clips for that already. And as I said, check out my YouTube. I have the walkthrough there. No trophies, though, which is kind of annoying, releasing a game that's completely free, no trophies. Like, come on, you guys got to put like at least 1 or 2. Maybe a free platinum. Silent Hill 2 again. Everybody's been waiting for Silent Hill 2 for God knows how long. A very long time. And it seems like Silent Hill is finally getting the remaster, I guess remake / remaster that you do. It looks really good and scary, but it's a third person as compared to the Short Message, which is a first person kind of like horror style. It reminds me of like the PT demo back when it came out, whenever it was, like 2009 maybe it was. I think the PT demo came out that had like Norman Reedus in it, I believe. That was originally, 2014, pardon me. 2014, yeah, this was Kojima's going to do it, and then they kind of just bailed on it. And unfortunately, with Konami and his whole, like, structure of that whole thing, that just kind of gets all ridiculous and, like, an endless loop. Then you also have Sonic Shadow Generations, which kind of looks, it's Sonic, guys. I mean, there's not much going on with Sonic. Then you have Stellar Blade, and then an Until Dawn is coming back again. It looks like a complete remake of the game, updated. V Rising, and then you also had Zenless Zone Zero coming out. So some of the games look good, and some of them don't. You didn't get it. There's the State of Play is going to be coming back soon too. I believe it's February 6th, if I recall. I believe it's February 6th is coming back though. But yeah, they're coming back with it again, I believe, soon. And they're going to be releasing more stuff, I guess, or just showing stuff off. But I mean, we didn't get a Spider-Man 2 DLC, nothing about that yet. But we will see what happens in the next few months with everything. But I will be doing this weekly, updating your new games and new things coming out. But it's been kind of a big game week for Suicide Squad being released, and also with some of the State of Play things. But yeah, guys, please check out my channel. My channel on YouTube is the Ducky26, as well as my TikTok, Instagram, and my YouTube page. And I'm going to be posting the podcasts up there too. They're going to be about 15 to 20 minutes right now for these podcasts. I'm going to try to do one weekly, once a week. Just kind of get talking and see what's going on with gaming news, and kind of do reviews on games that I'm playing or some new things that I'm picking up. But I have to say, guys, if you get a chance to play the Suicide Squad, or if you know friends that have it, get a chance to borrow the copy of the game. It's pretty fun. I really like it so far. I'm going to actually go back into it this weekend more and play and just get a couple more hours in. Try to maybe finish this game before getting back into RoboCop, which I've been currently playing, as well as Alan Wake 2, because Alan Wake 2 is just such a long game. But yeah, we'll see what else is coming out. And thank you guys, and have a great weekend, and be safe, and take care. Bye-bye.